Hey, I think we're live. I want to double check, make sure I can find us on the channel. Kimberly Sminky here with Lolly Doodle Studios, and I still do not see the video. Bear with me. There we go. If you're here today with us for Watercolor Wednesday, I would love it if you would just say hello. Let me know you're here. We are painting. Let me fix this light. We have been painting our way through the alphabet for the last few weeks. We missed last week. I kind of escaped for some much needed renewal, relax and renewal time at the beach. But we're back at it tonight with the letter F, and we are going to paint, I believe, a little fox. I just thought that would be absolutely adorable. So while I'm getting my lights situated, I would love it if you would come on and say hello. What, sweetheart? Who said hello? Cindy. Hey, girl. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm so sorry that I missed you last week, but as I said, it was very much needed. I'm trying to catch up my video. There we go. All right. So I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, but I don't want to be up so close in your face to drive you crazy. So I've got these little cards cut out. I just sat and cut out little cards. We've been working last week, or the week before we did Elf. This was from something else. But I made littler cards in this way, because the thing is, when you work small, it's less intimidating, right? So that's like number one little tip that I have for you tonight. If you're intimidated or if you're afraid to get started because you don't want to ruin your paper, because I've been there, I've done that when I was learning, I was so afraid. I'm like, I'm going to ruin all this paper. It's not, paper's not cheap. Paint's small. So I've cut these into, they're approximately 2.5 by 3.5 inches. These are 100% cotton watercolor, I believe. I'm pretty sure I used 100% cotton for these. But either way, hey, Melanie, let's talk birds, Melanie. Birdies. I do have a question about birds. I'm going to have to throw that at you at some point, you and Mark. I was very curious. I saw on the news the other day, I don't know if you saw that or not, Mel, but apparently they've discovered a new species of, I think it's like a bluebird. I just wanted to hear what you guys thought of that. But anyway, Watercolor Wednesdays. It's time to just sit back, relax. It's been one of those days. And the reason, and it's funny how I decided to paint a fox tonight, because it's been one of those days. And I was kind of like, what the fox? Like, what the fox is going on? Yeah, no rush. I just thought maybe I heard it wrong, but I know I saw something about that. But yeah, I've got like, what are they? The artist trading cards, the ACEOs. I'm not sure exactly what that stands for because I'm kind of new to that whole thing. But I've cut these down to that size approximately so that, painting, if I paint something and I don't like it, same with you. If you paint something and you're not like totally in love with it, you've lost like a whole 2.5 by 3 inch piece of paper, and that's that. I keep moving things around because I don't like the setup. But thanks for being here with me tonight, guys. It has been one of those days, but I'm going to let it go now. We're just going to let it wash away with a little bit of watercolor therapy. Watercolor doesn't have to be intimidating. It doesn't have to be time consuming, and it doesn't have to be scary. So I'm going to come in here in my Maylang palette. I'll link all of this below. So don't worry, you know, I know I talk about this palette a lot. This is a student grade palette, but it is one of my favorites. And I'm just going to come in here and drop some water, piece of air, in my colors. I'm going to hit all of my oranges and my yellows, and I'm going to hit some of my browns because I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use. I've got just some brushes. Use what you have. And Alexis will continue to let me know if anyone comments. But I'm just going to grab my Princeton Aqua Elite brush, size 4. It's my favorite, but I always say use what you can, use what you have, or purchase what you can afford, right? What, honey? Hi, Belle. How are you tonight? Thanks for jumping in. So we're going to paint a little fox. We're not going for realistic. We're going for fun. And we have extra paper here in case we don't like what we did. So maybe I'll grab my pencil first real quick, and I'll just sketch it. Maybe I'll just sketch the face a little bit. So I want to draw a rainbow shape, okay? And this is going to be cutesy, not realistic. So we are using the Maylang palette. This is the Maylang palette. It's a student grade palette. I'll link it for you when I'm done. It's right around $20. But even if all you have is a starter kit from the craft store or really any store, I say go for it. I've used some kids watercolors palettes recently that I was pretty darn impressed with. But like I said, I'm going to do kind of like a shallow rainbow here. Can we see that? And then inside of that, I'm going to put a nose. I'm just going to put a little circle right about there. Okay. Now, what, honey? It's frozen. It's not on my side, maybe just yours. And then right about where that nose is, I'm going to draw kind of like a letter N or another rainbow this way. But then I'm going to just kind of curve that out. So I'm going to curve that out, and then I'm going to meet that rainbow where the curve is. Okay, if you can see that, let me know. Then we're going to connect those two with a little flattened U shape. You can really extend these out if you want. You don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to come in here. We're going to mix up some paint. So again, I'm grabbing my size 4. Sorry. Oh, you painted. I am using, Belle, the paper that I have, I want to say is an aqua pad. And oh, I would love to have seen your fox for the baby's shower. I love that. I love that. So I'm going to come in, and I think of foxes, you know, the traditional little red fox. So I have a lot of red up here in my palette lid. I'm just going to add some water to that and activate it. If not, just grab some water from your palette, and I'm going to grab some of this orange, mix it in there. That's really, really bright. So maybe I have some barn reds down here. I'll grab a little bit of that. And just mix that up in there. I want this, I'm gonna grab some of that. It's just very light. I wanna go in with a very light wash of color and build up. So let's see how we do. I'm just gonna come in and start at this side, use that brush and sweep that paint across. Doesn't have to be perfect. We can leave some of the whites of the paper. And then on this, I'm not going to draw it, but I'm going to draw an upside down V there and an upside down V right over there. Grabbing a little bit more of that orangey color. I'm going to fill in the ear here. Hello, Michelle from Vintage Revival Design Co. How are you, my friend? I just saw that you were live earlier. I'm going to have to go back and catch it because I was live inside of the brush and script. But for my little fox here, I'm just kind of thickening the lines on that V that we put on there for ears. And this is still wet. Remember, kind of like a river or, yes, I can find words tonight. A river or a pond. Where that's wet, water flows, right? So wherever it's wet, your color is going to flow. So I want to work fairly quickly while my paper is still wet. And you'll see here, I'm adding a little bit more of like a brown up there, like a rust color. And I just want to dot in here. That was a lot, but it's okay. You'll see where the paper is white, it's still dry. So my color is only gonna go where the water flows. So I can just dot that along the edges, and I'm gonna let the water do the thing for me. I can bring some of that deeper color up here to the tips of the ears just by dotting a little bit, and it's going to go only where the color takes it. I'm going to thicken this down just a bit, and I'm going to leave that be for now. I can always come in with my brush, and a dry brush, so I've pulled most of the water off, and watch. I can pull up some of this color because it got really dark really quickly. So there is somewhat of a bit of erasure with watercolor. So don't get too worried, because remember, we're working on tiny pieces of paper because we don't want to be worried, right? So I'm going to skip down here for a little body. I'm going to just do a teardrop shape, two sides, and join it at the bottom, right? If you want our little fat little fox, you can make that teardrop a little bit wider, and I'm just gonna close it in a little bit under her chin. I'm calling her a her, could be a him. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of my darker color, and remember, where it's wet, where the water flows, the color will flow, right? So it's not going to go wherever it's dry. That's a lot of color, but it's fine. Watercolor will usually dry a little bit lighter. Now watch what happens if I come in here to the white and I just have water on my brush. I can extend this color just a little bit more and let some of that color bleed in. But leave some of the white of your paper. I'm just going to come in with my brush, very little bit of water on there, just enough. And I am just going to come right here, and I'm going to pull up just with a slightly curved line. And then I'm going to curve another slightly curved line. And I'm just going to pull that back down towards the body. We're not going for perfection, right? So we have just basically done a very basic little fox. What, sweetheart? Thank you. And I can come back up once this is not 100% dry like you'll see there, but I can bring in maybe some water there and just not touch up into all of the orange. And maybe I want to add just a slight little bit of like an off-white color. That's way too much. I'm just gonna grab my paper towel, blot it, and away it goes. Right, we can remove somewhat as long as it's wet. I'm gonna grab my hair dryer real quick, dry this little stinker. It's frisky little socks here tonight. That's pretty good. Now remember, we're working small. Maybe we'll do another one after this. This is our little practice run. We have some more brown there. I'm gonna move my colors. Are you guys getting a good view of this? My dark brown, I'm gonna pull some of that up here and just really water that down a bit. Right. So where the paper is wet, the color will flow. It is now dry, so whenever I come in here and put paint on dry paper, it's only gonna go where I put it with the brush, right? It will not flow anywhere else. So I'm gonna use some of that darker color at the tips of his ears, and I'm just gonna do a thin line right about from here down for a front foot, and from about here down for a front foot. Oh, that's black. We don't want the, well, we could do some of the black. And I'm just gonna darken that a little bit, let it run. So it's just her little front legs, or his. That is funny, the way that water is puddling there. Either that or it's, do you see how that is leaving a white spot there? That shows me that either the sizing on that paper, there's something wrong with it, or some sort of oil got on that because it's affecting the way my color is taking there. But it's okay. We've just got an automatic highlight spot. I'm just gonna add some of the darkness here to separate the tail from the body, just in a little. And I'll let that blend up out into the tail a bit. I can come back to the face, maybe add, let's see. I'm just gonna wet a good portion of the cheeks, but I'm not gonna pull it up into the orange of the head. I'm gonna grab some of my pink, just a little. I'm gonna tap it here for little cheeks, and just let the water blend it. Okay. And guys, I just want to stop for a second, invite you to hit that button. If you are not following me, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell. That way each time I come live, you'll get a notification to come join me. You'll also be notified as new videos come up. Next week, we'll be working with the letter G. I'd love it if you could drop in the comments here of this video some ideas that we could paint next week for the letter G. Because sometimes my brain just, needs a little bit of assistance from my friends. Let me know what you want to paint next week with the letter G. And go ahead and tap the share button as well. I would love that. So that your friends can come watch the video as well. I'm gonna do gardenias. Oh, gardenias are gorgeous. Flowers are good any day. Any day, Michelle. But giraffes are actually really cute too, and that would go cute with our fox. So we'll have to decide next week if we are going to paint flower or a giraffe. You have fabric with a fox? Yeah? I'm just tapping some more dark of the black down here on her feet, and see how it's just kind of where the paper is still a little bit damp, it's just blending up in. I'll put a little bit more darker on her ears. I'm gonna tap some black, just using the very tip of my brush to give it a little jelly bean like nose. Okay, we could do open eyes, closed eyes. I want to see, I want to see either some comments or some hearts flying up the screen. Do you want to do some closed eyes or some open eyes? That I would love for you to let me know. Closed eyes or open eyes. And if you have not done so already, hit the share button for me now. That sprinkles our video out like confetti through YouTube so that others can watch. What do you think so far of our little fox? Okay, Alexis, what did you vote for, dear? Huh? You voted for open? All right, I guess we're gonna do open. We're gonna grab some black paint, and as long as my cheeks are dry, praying, maybe I should hit it with the hair dryer just really quickly. That way we don't have any runaway crying eyes from our little fox. So I'm just gonna do a tiny little circle here, a tiny little, so we're just using the tip of that brush and giving it a little wiggle. Okay, and I'm gonna do a little line straight down the face for her little nose, or for her little face. And I'm just going to do like that, another upside down little V, and we're gonna leave it be. So we have an upside down V and we're leaving it be. There are so many different ways that we can do this. So how about I do just another quick one without all the chitty chat and drawing, and that way you can see that when you sit down to do this, go in without fear. Go in and enjoy yourself. I'm going to use some of that rusty orange color and really water it down. I can test it on my paper towel. Right, so we've got, for our fox, we've got our cheek. We're going to go up with a rainbow shape, back down and over. I really went light. I really went light that time with the water wash, right? But I want to flood that with water, and then I can come back and tap in. I can tap in paint just right around the edges and let it flow, or I can help it along just a bit. Okay, I'm gonna come in again, and I'm going to do a little teardrop shape for the body without the top, like a circular 2 C strokes there, I should say. Leave some white space, and then we're going to do his tail like this, or her tail, and then I'm going to flood that with some water. I'm not going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to leave some white there. You can see where each fox is a little bit different. And I'm just going to tap some of that color there. And just kind of maybe help it along a little bit. Let's see. give her a little bit of a point there. Okay, and let's see, I'm gonna grab just a little bit of like a grayish brown and fill in her head shape, or his, her. Can you see that? What are you guys thinking so far? Do you think you can do this with the broken down shapes? And you can see without the pencil lines and with the pencil lines, the difference in how the two look. I'm gonna come in at this point. Oh, I forgot his ears or her ears. So we can do some nice perky little V-shaped ears. Lots of water. And then I'll pick up some more paint. Pull that down the ears into the head. Why not give it some nice big ears? I'm gonna grab a little bit of this, let's see, what color? Get some brown. I'm gonna add some brown to that so it's not quite so red. Tips of the ears. Maybe some of that down here in the body. Okay, look at that. I can add a little bit there just to accentuate her face and blend that if it's too harsh. Let's dry it real quick. Hi, Emma. We've got a runaway fox here. Bring her back down. All right, so you can see how different they look already. I'm gonna grab some of that black and really water it down a bit. I'm gonna put her feet kind of just really skinny, and this is pretty much just all water on my brush right now. I'm gonna pick up some of that black and just tap it at her feet. Remember, where the water flows or where the water is on the paper, the color will flow, right? Paint will flow. Where the water is, well, where your paper is wet, I should say, is what I'm trying to say. So we got little black feet there, and little arms. I'm just gonna let it, messing with it too much. I'm just gonna let it be, let it dry. So we're gonna do another little eyeball right about here. Do another little eyeball there. Okay. I'm gonna do, I'll just go ahead and do the nose brown. So we're gonna do another little circular nose there. Kind of leaving, trying to leave a little bit of the white paper pull down, and you can give her a little smile. Okay. You can just come back in and darken up places that you would like to dark. You can always go darker, but you can, it's easier to go darker than it is to go light with watercolor. So you can just kind of mix that in a bit. Maybe I'm gonna grab just a little bit more of this brown. And I'm just gonna darken the side. Right, we can go dark. And if that's too harsh, we just get in there, right? Just get in there before everything is dry and you can fix mistakes. Tail. No two is going to be the same, so no stressing if yours looks different than mine, or you know, vice versa. Little fox. I think that's cute. What do you guys think? I want to thank you for joining me tonight for another Watercolor Wednesday. I certainly needed to get in here for some watercolor therapy, and I appreciate each and every one of you that stopped and said hello tonight. Again, please let me know in the comments. If you have questions, first of all, please drop them down there. But I would love it. My computer's frozen. Oh, thanks, Lex. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I need your ideas for next week for the letter G. So far, we've got giraffe and gardenia. Both would be really fun, but I'd love to hear it if you have a different idea. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this out into YouTube. You can share this to someone that you may know who might also want to learn just some quick and easy little watercolor lessons for therapy as well. Thanks for hanging with me tonight, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you soon. I actually will be coming back. We're working on some witchy but wonderful Halloween watercolor paintings, and I will see you soon. Bye.